If you think this weekend was just another set of games, you are wrong, because we're at that point in the season where you can actually see the separation. Who can control a game and who cannot? You've got teams closing games late, teams completely taking games over. You've got fans getting involved. And today I've got someone on who's not even following the traditional route. He's building something completely different around skill and ball control. So yeah, there's more here that people are talking about. Let's get right into it. Welcome back. My name is Jake McDonald. I'm in a thing lacrosse, and this is a game that never sits still. As always, leave me a comment on what you want to see in these episodes. As well, go follow the socials. Will be popping up on the screen right now. Today, we've got an action-packed episode. As always, we're going to be going through all the games of the week in depth. We will also be doing my player awards. I'll be going over my power rankings. I'm going to be playoff prediction. We'll be going over all the playoff odds and all that kind of stuff through NLStats.com. And we also are going to have a guest on, Lucas from Tekni. Now, he doesn't make this a lacrosse stick, but it is like based basically off a lacrosse stick. It's based off another game. We go to that into the interview, so stay tuned for that. Very interesting. And I personally think, I asked around about it too. I personally think this is a great way for kids to get out there, get a stick in their hand and learn ball control. Because at the end of the day, even though this wasn't maybe designed for lacrosse, I think that there's a lot of transferable skills. And I love supporting small creators, and he's a pretty small creator, but he's got big, big aspirations, and he's got big things coming, I think. So awesome to have him on the show. Lucas is his name. Go check out his stuff, and we'll get into that in a little bit. And as always, we're going to start off with two topics. The topics today are different ones, I'll tell you that. I always find I come up with great topics for the show. You guys let me know what you think, if you think these topics are good or if not. Now, we're going to be talking about the guy who gave the finger to Buffalo Bandits, the Vancouver fan, the passion, all that stuff. I liked it. Some people don't. We're going to talk about it. We've also got, I want to talk about robot refs, because AI is a big thing and everybody needs to get their head wrapped around this, especially when you have players that are trying to have to ask the refs to get out of the way, basically. So we'll get into that as well. And then we'll go through the whole episode like we always do. Further ado, let's get right into it here. So we're going to start off the episode strong and talk about the guy who gave the finger. Now, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's all over my profile. I shared it on all my platforms. I personally love the passion of this, okay? Now, the guy, basically, just to sum it up here, I'll put the picture up on the screen so you guys can see actually what I'm talking about. Anyway, so now for me, I'm going to tell you my perspective here from this first as a fan, and then we're going to get into everything else, okay? So I've had some people comment. I have one kid on here, and I'm going to give him a little shout out here, because like this kid keeps me in check all the time. I'm not kidding you. I love hearing different perspectives, first off. Some people get mad at shit like this. I personally appreciate somebody. I have no clue what his real name is. He's a native kid, and I'm going to have him on the show eventually. But his name's on TikTok is 31. I know the kid plays high level lacrosse, KAWLIGA 31. Okay, so give him a big shout out, because he's checked me a couple times, and I know he's a younger kid, like in that like late teenage stage or whatever. But this kid's got a head on his shoulders, and he's got a good personality. So I hope, when I haven't got to see him play, or I haven't got to see his stats or anything, I hope this kid's one hell of a lacrosse player, and I have a feeling he is. And I will give him all the press, I'll pedestal him, whatever you want to call it, glaze him. This kid checks me all the time. So his perspective is different on this, and I don't agree with it, but I can see exactly where he's coming from. Now, here's my point of view to start this off with, okay? I love to see that passion. When you see a fan that's so pissed off that Buffalo's beating up on your team. This guy's front row glass. He's a diehard fan, got the jersey on. Like, this guy is not just some random, guy that's showing up to a game, right? He's a diehard Vancouver fan. He gave Buffalo the finger, and it was, you could tell, right? And now for me as a player, like, I'm not a player. I've never played lacrosse. I'm going to be a coach this year, right? Can't wait. Pumped for that. But he gave the guy the finger, right? Or he gave the player the finger, and I thought it was awesome, because guess what I see? I see dollar signs, right, for these players. Because that's the thing. With hate comes money. With hate comes, you want to be a hater, you're a fan, technically. You're just watching it to hate, right? So whatever brings money to the sport, you guys know I'm like that. So for me, it's like, in any sport is like this. Any major market you see, you have fans like this. I'm a Leaf fan. We're like this, right? We fucking hate that team. I got the Dallas Cowboys in the NFL. You got the Lakers in the NBA. You got the New York Knicks. Like, there's just, it goes on. You got the Jets. You can see it, right? They're diehard fans, but they hate their team. But they're like Leaf fans a lot. Jets. Then you've got the Yankees with New York. You got Aaron Judge getting death threats after the playoff series. I didn't leave, unlike some people, Marner. But anyway, that's a whole other conversation for a whole other sport. But when fans get this passionate, that's where jersey sales comes. That's where merch sales comes. That's where events come, where you can go have a dinner with these players. Like, there's so many different events out there, right, that you can do. And that's the thing. That's where I see the money coming in. When there's this much passion, when there's passion for this sport, and you want to see your team win that bad, you're going to go, you're going to pay, you're going to, get the first in line, pay for the front seats, pay. and that's what brings them money. Even though these fans hate on some of these players, it's great for business. And guess what? That thing I shared it. I've seen it shared a couple different times, so it's out there. It's crazy. Like, you guys are gonna see it. If you listen to the podcast, you're gonna see me smash a TV when Halifax gets eliminated. Because newsflash, well, for anybody in here, my one TV broke. I was moving it over and I pressed the screen too hard. It broke. I was like, and you know what? I got mad at first. Obviously, I was like fucking pissed. I was just pissed off myself. But I was like, you know what? This is a good content TV now. So I'm taking a baseball bat to it. I'm driving over with it. You guys can leave in the comments what do you think I should do. But when Halifax gets eliminated, I'm doing something with my Halifax jersey. I'm gonna fucking throw it on. I'm gonna beat the TV. I'll do the same thing. I'll do something when Toronto gets out too, because I got a Toronto jersey. And I'm gonna try to get some, some attention to this sport, because you see it all in all other sports. You see it in hockey. I'm going to bring this to lacrosse. I haven't seen anybody doing lacrosse, and I'm going to bring it to it. So there's my passion for a fan. Okay. So that's the thing. A little bit of toxicity is good. A player showing up at, or a fan showing up at somebody's house, sending them death threats, I think that is honestly over the line. Don't get me wrong. But a middle finger, a fuck you, you suck, calling them out, whatever, like that to me shouldn't matter. And if you're a player and your skin is this soft that you cannot handle that, you better get out of the sport before it booms, or you better put your fucking armor on, man, because boys, I'm telling you right now that the fans, hockey fans especially, that I'm trying to bring over, and I think they're the easiest fans to bring over, are fucking passionate. I'm passionate. This is the thing. Everybody wants me to pick a team, and I don't think you guys, I don't even know if it's a great idea for me to pick a team, because I'm on a fan base. I'm going to be trashing this fucking thing in the best way possible, right? I love that. I'm going to love the team, but I'm also going to be super overly critical more than any other team. That's just the way I am. And I'll be talking about that team more than any other team, because that's going to be my team. So this is why it's such a big decision on who I pick. And so anyway, so that's my side of it. So I think it brings money in. I think it brings passion in. I think it shows greatness. The other thing I want to point out too is, if that same player like, if me as a fan, right? If I gave the finger to a player, which I probably never would, because I'm so entwined in here now, and I'm just somebody, like, I might meet these guys, right? Or they're gonna message me. But anyway, I would probably never give a finger to a player, but I love seeing fans do it personally. Okay, at this level, I think, and no, don't get me wrong, I'm still very small, but at this level, I think I need to be a little bit more respectful of that, because I'd like to have these guys on, and guys switch teams and all that stuff. I'm gonna be talking about teams, not individual players, when I'm talking about the team. Now, I might add comments about the individual players, but my whole thing is it's a team game, right? So it's everybody. It's not just one player. But anyway, so that's my whole point of this. I think that it's great for the sport. I think that if a player ended up jumping from, if that player went from Buffalo to Vancouver, that guy would be his fan now. That's how it is. That's how it is as a fan. And I think that people don't understand this in the sport, especially if you're only a lacrosse fan. You don't get the passion. So if you're a football fan, if you're a hockey fan, if you're a baseball fan, whatever, these guys have passionate fans, like they should. And that's what lacrosse is missing a little bit. But as I see this, it's not missing. It's just on a smaller scale, right? And that's the thing. There's a very big portion of this. This is supposed to be a medicine game, and it's supposed to be helping heal people. And I can completely understand that, and I respect that. And this is what this kid was saying off TikTok, man. Is like, he's like, this is supposed to be a medicine game. This is supposed to be, to help with disputes, to respect your opponent, to respect your elders, to respect the creator, all that stuff. And I understand that, and I do understand that point of it. But we are going to lose a little bit of that. I hope it always stays in the game, for sure. And I think I'm sure the league's really good at integrating the native traditions into this, especially with two native owners. But we do need to get away from it a little bit. And that might not be a popular opinion, but we do need to get away from it a little bit, in the sense that it is a professional sport, and professional sports come with toxicity. And if that means that the medicine game, for me, if you're out playing in front of, on a native reserve, and you're playing the medicine game, and you're playing against a bunch of your own people, I think that that's where the traditions come in. I think that's where the respect comes in. I think that, and if you're just out playing, not a competitive professional league where people make money, that's where the line is for me. When you start making money in professional and make it a professional sport, I think what happens is that it becomes more of, you're getting paid to win, you better go out and win. So yeah, so I completely understand that point of it. Like I always talk about, right? My wife's native. Her grandmother was a very close person to me, and she was born on the reserve. She lost her status because she married a white guy, came back, got it back. After fighting, she went to protest. So I've seen it and heard it all. Okay. I've got a different closeness to this, because my wife is native. So I think I have a better understanding. I'm sure it's not up to the level of somebody that is born native. Don't get me wrong. And that's why I respect his opinion so much. And when it comes to this stuff, and he's such a respectful guy, whether that be whatever age he is, I don't know. So he might be just an early adult. He also might still be technically underage, like a teenager. But either way, I still respect his opinion. I think that he's got a great perspective. He knows a lot of these guys. He knows a lot of, I think Warren Hill's his cousin or something, but he knows a lot of these guys. He's super connected, and that's the thing. And this league is very integrated with these guys. It is a lot of respect between each other. But I think and there should be a level of respect by the athletes, but when it comes to fans and when it comes to paying, if your team's paying that guy X amount of dollars, then he needs to be going out there and performing, especially if you have another player on another team getting paid less or the same and performing way better, then there's got to be some criticism there. And like that, so that all goes into it. So that's where this takes away from like quote unquote the medicine game. I think that if you're playing traditional or you're playing in like I said, if the athlete is not being paid, then 1000% fans shouldn't be screaming at the players. They shouldn't be giving them the finger, all that stuff. But if this is a professional sport, NHL, major sport, fifth major sport is what we're working towards. If that's what it becomes, then we got to lose that a little bit. That's just my opinion. You guys let me know what you think, but that's how I look at it as a fan, as somebody that's somewhat involved in this and understand. But I understand why the natives would probably think a lot differently than this. And that's why I understand why this would be an unpopular opinion. But again, I'm going to take it from my point of view. I'm going to take it from a fan's point of view. And luckily I have my wife, and I spent so much time around her grandmother that I do have a different perspective than somebody just coming off and running their mouth. So that's what I'm going to say about that. I love the passion, and I hope this continues. A little bit of toxicity is good. A lot of toxicity is too much. That's my thoughts on this. Now, next, quickly, I want to touch on robot refs, okay? So robot refs. Now, I'm not talking about robots actually out there. I think we need to take the amount of refs that are on the field or on the playing surface and take them away. We have so many cameras, and I've talked about this before. And Mr. Elliot Frickman, aka Ryan McMichael, off Loose Mesh, is really against this. Like, he is super against this, and I get it because he's a player and he's like a high level player. So I want to get on and talk to him personally or any other player about this because I don't know how they feel. But when I think it was Ian McKay that I read this on X this year or this week that he has to basically tell the refs he's gonna be coming around the net. Like, that's ridiculous. Get the fuck out of the way. Well, they need to be able to see the ball. You have technology, guys. We're in space right now. We just passed the moon. Okay, we have technology where you can see a ball. Put a sensor in the ball. Okay, if you have to go over the line, all that kind of stuff. There's that technology, but also just having a bunch of cameras at the net, seeing it and then reviewing it. If it's any questionable at all, we just review it. No big deal. And then you know for sure, right? So I just think that these refs are getting in the way too much. I seen it Friday night was a big. It's the game that I think really kind of threw it out to me, and just the whistles, like everything. But and if you really, what I think what should happen, if you want to call a completely fair game, you have a camera on each player, each goalie, and then a bunch of cameras set up also all around, so you have every angle you could possibly see. Well, isn't this going to be expensive? Yes, but this is the way it is. And if you reduce over time, this could actually end up being cheaper. Depends on how long they last and all that stuff. I think that this is the most fair way to call the game. If you want to call a game a fair way, fine. If you want to let things go, fine. It depends on what way you want to look at it. But if you had even an AI system set up in here that flagged potential penalties, and then you had two guys in a box watching the game, they flagged the guys on the field. Well, this was a penalty, throws the flag, the footage is there, right? Nothing gets missed, and you got players, maybe it'll keep players more accountable. I don't know. I don't know if this is a good idea. I do think that's a little bit much personally, but I would like to see less refs around the net, less refs getting in the way. So if we could pull some off and replace them with cameras and stuff like that, where you're not, because they're not on the field doesn't mean they have to be not watching the game. They can watch the game from the box, off the field, out of the fucking way, from a camera. Like, I don't understand. I don't get it. And that's why I don't understand why people get so mad about it. It's not so much robot refs I'm talking about. It's more just like getting more cameras, having people off the playing surface, still watching the game, still roughing it, still doing all that from a camera. Now, again, I'm a fan, okay? So this makes sense in my fan mind that this would work. But maybe as a player, it won't work. Maybe as a ref, it won't work. Somebody yell at me. I don't know. I'm just a fan. I'm just a dummy fan, right? So that's the one thing. So I will say that this is just my idea, and I think it would make the game, quote unquote, more fair, more even, and make it flow better, in my opinion. Not at first, maybe. Not at first. But as you fine tune it, I think it would make it a lot better. And especially with AI and all that stuff like that, the technology is coming in. This is the thing. Everyone goes, AI is so buggy. Right now, it's buggy, guys. You got to think what's going to happen over the next 5 years. Like, it's going to get crazy good. I don't think people understand it. I'm big on AI. I use it all the time, and I'm just big on it. I think that it's a future. And if you don't get on board, you're going to miss the boat. So why not be a progressive league? Why not be the first league to do this before we see everybody else do it? Take a shot, take a risk, and go for it. So that's just my thoughts. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. All right, let's run through the quick scores, and then we're going to get right into the interview here, okay? So this week, just for anybody who doesn't want to hang around or whatever, last week we had Colorado beating Vegas 13-8. You had Halifax beating Rochester 15-10. You had Toronto beating San Diego 7-5, which was honestly that game. No, I didn't expect what we've seen, but Toronto, love it. I love to see a performance like that because their offense is so good. Then you got Vancouver and Buffalo. Buffalo blowing the doors off Vancouver 15-5. I don't think there's one person that would have seen this coming. And then finally, you have Oshawa beating Calgary 10-9 in a 1-goal game. Oshawa showing some heart. We'll get into that, but there's your scores for the week real quick, okay? So now we're going to get into the interview here. Now, this is not a normal lacrosse interview, but this guy came up on my TikTok, and if you guys know me, if you've watched me for a while, TikTok's my OG. TikTok's is how I got into doing content, all that stuff. So I love TikTok, and everybody hates TikTok, and that makes me love it even more. Like, I hate Instagram. But anyway, I'm on his Instagram. My Instagram's growing, but and that's where everybody is. So I'm on there, and the only reason I'm on there is because of Lax Tilly. I was on there a little bit, but the only reason I really use it is because of Lax Tilly, and that's because he only used Instagram, so I had to jump on there for him. So fuck you, Lax Tilly. No, I love that kid. You know I love you, buddy. But anyway, I'm on Instagram. So this guy came up on TikTok. This is Lucas from Tekni, TekXNE. I'll throw it up on the screen here. All his tags and stuff like that. Small creator. I don't even know how many followers he had at that time. Maybe a few hundred or something like that. I think maybe a few hundred, maybe a few thousand, 1,500, something like that on TikTok when I seen him. I'm sure he has a lot more right now already. But go give him a follow. He's created the stick. Now I thought it was just a lacrosse stick. I figured the guy would have been a lacrosse fan. So I messaged him. I said, hey man, I love your stick. I'd love to have you on the podcast. So he got on. And we talked. Not a lacrosse fan, which is funny enough. And we'll go into this in the interview. You're going to hear all this. Lucas is a fantastic guy. I think, even though he didn't make it for lacrosse, I think that the way you can move the ball around, all that kind of stuff, it's a cool toy. Like he said, like he's going to go into around the campfire with your boys fucking around. I'm going to buy one when he's ready for have him sell. I'll definitely be buying one just to have one throw around. I'm going to try it. He's still working on development and how to really get it out there, but I definitely would like to promote that. And like I said, I think for lacrosse, I think to throw it up in the air, to catch the ball, to move it around, it kind of gives you a little bit extra and a little bit more accuracy. So anyway, if you go watch hockey, if you watch the elevation of hockey with players and what they can do, the Zegras with the Michigan goal, all these different kids, the way they can score, it's the same as lacrosse. These players now are saying they're seeing what they can do professionally. Now these kids can do at 13 years old, right? So the game evolves over time and keeps getting better. And I think this is going to help with ball control, bouncing it off the stick. As you're going in, and you're throwing it around, obviously you're not going to be bouncing off the stick, but if you miss the ball and you bounce it back and then throw it like that reactionary time could be a big difference in a game. So anyway, Lucas is a great guy out from a fellow Canadian out in Vancouver, or the Vancouver area, I should say. And he's just a great guy. So check out the interview and let's go. All right, so today I have Lucas on the show from Tekni. He's created his own little lacrosse stick. That's a lot of trick shots I've seen on his profiles and stuff. So, man, how you doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
Good. So, kind of tell me about the product, and are you a lacrosse fan, or is this just something you do on the side?
So it's pronounced Tekna, and it's just no, it's all good, man. It's kind of a weird one, the name. Well, it's kind of a long story, but my buddy played lacrosse when I was a young guy, and he showed me stick tricks. And I fell in love with him. I didn't play lacrosse. I was never a sports guy, but I would just stick around in my backyard for hours with a lacrosse stick doing stick tricks. And it just kind of got old after a while, right? There was only so much that I could kind of do on it, reach the ceiling with it. And then years and years later, a buddy of mine showed me kendama, and I kind of just slowly put the two together. And I was surprised there wasn't anything out there, like a two-handed kendama, because I just kept trying to think like something's already got to exist for it, right? And after like months and months of scouring the internet, I couldn't find anything. And I was like, oh, well, fuck, I'll just make one. And that's kind of where this comes from.
Okay, cool. I've never heard of kendama actually either. So can you run through what that is actually?
Yeah, I'll just show you one really quick. This is a kendama. And it's just like, it's for skills catching, whatever. Guys are crazy on them. I can maybe do like a couple catches on it, but I just don't like how it feels. It's like one-handed.
Okay, cool. So you've just created your own kind of version of lacrosse stick.
Yeah, kind of. It's like a lot of people compare it to lacrosse. I got a lot of hate from the lacrosse community so far. It's pretty wild. They're pretty like, the lacrosse community is divided. It's like you either love it or you hate it. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, I didn't design it for lacrosse guys. I'm not trying to steal lacrosse or anything like that, but it's very much just its own thing. Just because it's got a net on a stick doesn't really make it a lacrosse stick. Similar, but
yeah, when I seen it, I just think that there's a lot of skills that kind of go hand in hand. And I asked a couple of people on what they thought, if they thought it would help with their like ball control and stuff, and they agreed it would help. So, I think without that being your intention, I think it is something that it kind of goes hand in hand.
Oh, 100%, man. Like the thing about it is that it's not, I don't want to just pigeonhole it as like a lacrosse tool, right? I've had a lot of people in the skill toy, juggling, kendama community be absolutely in love with it. So it's kind of just like it says in my Instagram bio, it's just built for everyone. Anyone with 2 feet and a heartbeat can use it. Or well, I guess you gotta have 2 arms, but
yeah, man. You never know. There might be a Paralympic sport one day or something.
But I think like, sorry, but you are onto something. Like I should admit here too that like I took a huge amount of inspiration from lacrosse. It's really where it started for me. So to kind of ignore that would be asinine a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I know some guys are really hardcore into the lacrosse community and they don't like change. I find it's more on the field side of things than the box maybe, but I think that if you're anything that can help guys get better at it, I think is good for the sport.
Yeah. Well, man, there's some people out there because when I was doing some research for this, I was trying to find like if they made a specific lacrosse stick trick, like a trainer or something like that. I watched hundreds of lacrosse stick trick videos, and there's guys out there who are wizards on the things. Like I can't wait to see other people using these and see the progression that comes from that.
Yeah, is it anything you're looking at trying to get some partnerships with different players maybe, or is I know you just said you're not really focused on lacrosse, but even in some other things as well?
At this point, I've had so many people reach out to me that want to just be a brand ambassador. Like, I haven't really had to search out anyone for this. I have like a laundry list of people right now that want to be a part of it in some way or another. So I think it's just going to happen organically.
Yeah, now you're located in Vancouver?
Vancouver area, yeah.
Okay. Now are you planning I see you have pre-orders on. Do you have a concrete date for when these go on sale yet, or is it something you're still working towards?
So right now I'm trying to figure out like what originally happened was I was planning on having these SLS 3D printed, which is selective laser sintering. It's like printed in a matrix of plastic powder with laser, and it like slowly builds up layer by layer, and it gives it like a more concentric structure with the print, and it's not layered, so it doesn't have like the same flaws and weaknesses of FDM printing, which is considerably weaker in comparison. However, I got my prices back for that about a month ago, and it was like $700 a unit on the big side. And then I reached around to a couple different manufacturers. I got prices from China just recently for like $300 a unit, and then another place in Vancouver was like $400 a unit. So I've had to completely pivot and redirect everything right now. So I've started clearing out an area in my parents' workshop right now to start urethane casting these out of resin. So it's just a matter of trying to now learn how to resin cast these myself and build a manufacturing setup and the money part of it as well too. So it's been a little bit of a redirection. I'm hoping to have the pre-sale drop within the next month or two, but I don't want to take anyone's money yet until I've got it a little bit more dialed that I know exactly how I'm going to be producing these or manufacturing these. So I want people to see like, it's a strong, durable unit that's quality for the best cost that I can give to people at the moment. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. If it takes a little bit longer, it takes a little bit longer, but I'd rather produce something that's high quality and it's going to last people.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have a price point in mind that you're trying to keep it under so you could sell it for a certain amount?
Yeah, I'm trying to keep it around 150 Canadian, somewhere around there. I mean, lower is obviously like more affordable for people, right? But that gets you. The thing I don't think a lot of people realize about this, and I've been meaning to produce like a longer form video about it, is that it's actually modular. So each component comes apart. So the handle in the production model will be two separate pieces. The head's its own component, and then each cup is its own component. And that allows for like one of the things that always frustrated me about lacrosse stick tricks is that there's like only so much that you can do on it. You can get creative and combine it and everything like that. But what I really picture with this is like right now how I got the stick set up is with a smaller cup on there, and it just like adds difficulty. And then like further on down the road, you can see just like how it's connected in there, but further on down the road, like I want to have different style attachments that go on there. You can have different colors, different materials. Really, like people can be able to customize this in a way that's totally individual for them. And once they start to outgrow the current play style or their skill level, then they can interchange components to either add difficulty or add further possibilities for its use.
Have you had any manufacturers or any like big brands like Warrior or anything reach out to talk to you about this stuff or a partnership or anything?
No, not yet, but I have had some pretty big name Instagram people like show support in a sense. They're aware of my existence.
Yeah, I mean, I think it caught my attention when I was seeing it. And I just, like I said, I think it could help guys just get a stick in their hand and move it around. So that's why it kind of caught my attention. Do you have any kind of idea on when you're gonna be releasing it? Like, is it gonna be are you aiming for the end of the year?
Oh, well before that. Well before that. I'll be doing small batch releases in the next like 2 to 4 months minimum. I've gone public with it now, and I'm currently patent pending. So my protection is I have to be the first person to market really with it.
Okay, cool. Now, sorry, my dog going in there. Okay, so how many people are signed up for your email list right now to kind of be notified when it is pre-orders?
I think I got about 50 the last time I checked. It's not bad. It's going to be.
I still see that you're like pretty small on Instagram and stuff, and even on TikTok where I found you. But I mean, you're growing, and I just, like I said, your content's great for catching attention, I find.
Yeah, thanks, man. TikTok, YouTube, Facebook are all just like, I get maybe 600 views on each video. Instagram, I think the video that you found me from is sitting at like just over 70,000 views right now. I've got collectively 220 views over the past 30 days. And in the past 7 days, I think like 150,000 of those views were in the past week. So the growth curve is pretty consistent. I had to like slow down on the content a little bit because I have to like purposely slow down the momentum before I can start producing products. I mean, I'm in a pretty good position right now. Like I have enough interest, but I need to get production models made before really pushing it out there any further.
How did you make your like prototype?
It's made out of this material here is high density polyurethane, HDPE. I actually just cut it out I drilled a bunch of little holes and cut it out with a saw and then filed it, hand sanded it, shaped it all. The handle and the head, and then the cups are actually 3D printed, but the cups are pretty fragile right now. It's just a functional prototype at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's like I said, it's very attention grabbing, I find, and I could see it even used as like entertainment during like a halftime performance at a lacrosse game or something like that. Like I think there's like a lot of opportunity there.
There's so much possibility for it, man. I'm super excited to see. Like, I genuinely believe that the community will just it'll grow with that. I won't really have to do much in the form of telling people how to use it or what sort of circumstances it could be used in. Like, I just went camping for my birthday. Me and all my friends were standing around trying it, using it. Like, it was just a whole lot of fun.
Now, is this something that when you're going through the patent process, how hard is that to get patented? And how costly as well?
I'm patent pending right now, and due to like financial limitations, I ended up researching the patent process for a few months and writing my own patent pending application, which was a considerable undertaking. As far as the actual patent filing goes, I'll have somebody else probably have a legal team deal with that for me, because it's a little bit more involved than the patent pending application, and I think it's about $20,000 Canadian, give or take. Depends on how complicated your invention is. Like if you're dealing with like a lot of like electrical or mechanical things like that, then I think it's a little bit more costly. This is a pretty simple in nature device, so I'm hoping it doesn't cost 20 grand, but we'll see.
Okay. And what about social media? Like, is this your first crack at social media, or have you used social media before to try to just get on there and talk in front of a camera and stuff like that?
So I've never been a face on social media. Tried starting a YouTube channel years and years ago, but I'm just way too self-conscious and insecure at the time. I just couldn't do it. I just posted one video and it just like sits up there kind of unlisted on YouTube.
That happens to a lot of creators though, man. It's you definitely got to be willing to listen to criticism when you're on here. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, man, you know, it's funny how upset people are about this thing. Like I've had some real awful comments and stuff of people. It's hard to not take it personally, but I don't know, I've grown. It's helped me more than anything being on here doing like content stuff.
Yeah, I mean, do you find that's a lot from the lacrosse community, or is that from other people as well?
It's kind of across the board. It's like I don't have a lot of, in the scheme of things, I got more love than hate. But there's definitely been like, say at least 5 people that were like really upset about it. And I was like, I don't know what upsets you about it. But
yeah, I think for lacrosse, sometimes people get really like into if you're going to change anything about it. So people get kind of defensive, I find. But for the majority of people, I think most people are open to new things.
yeah. And you know, like I didn't design it for lacrosse players. I really designed it for me and what I wanted to do with it, which is just do really complex tricks and something that lacrosse stick just couldn't do. And if the lacrosse community likes it, that's awesome. I would love to share it with anyone who wants to use it, because really at the end of the day, like it's just, I try and express it on the videos and stuff, but it's hard to, but like it's just actually so much fun. I can't put it down sometimes. I come into my kitchen and I pick it up and I'm like sitting there for a half hour, like fuck, I gotta cook dinner.
Well, it's funny because I have ADHD, so I could see myself just rocking with it, and even just around the campfire with your buddies, you're having a drink or whatever, and you're just throwing stuff around. It's a good time. It looks like.
Exactly, man. Exactly. I got ADHD too, so it's just like something for me to like hyper focus on, you know. And another consequence of it, I guess, is like the mentalness. It really just gets you into a flow state, so you're not really like thinking about, like, for people with ADHD or something like that, it's hard to like meditate or calm down. And for me, I find that more than anything, like I need stimulation. And this is just like, I've sat here for like 3-4 hours at a time just using it. And it's just like, I feel so much better after if I'm like stressed out about something.
Yeah, it kind of just keeps your mind on one task instead of firing everywhere else. No, I know exactly what you mean there, man. Okay, so like, what's the next step for you? Where are you headed?
The next step right now is just like trying to figure out the whole urethane casting thing. That's going to be the next step. I've contemplated doing a Kickstarter or something like that. I mean, the end goal here is to have them injection molded like a lacrosse head, but for something complex like a lacrosse head, it's like upwards of $100,000 for the mold just itself. And that's not to mention that I've got like 7 components here that need to be manufactured with that method. So yeah, that's kind of the next step for me. I really want to get this out to people. There's a lot of people that just keep asking like, when can I buy this? Where can I buy this? Blah, 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 blah. And so I just want to see somebody else use it right now at this point. So that's kind of my next big step over the next month or two here, is trying to get it out into the world for other people to use.
Yeah, that's why I wonder if like a partnership would be the right way, where you kind of partner with like a Warrior or a Nike or whoever. Like there's a couple of their smaller lacrosse brands, Loading, that might be kind of interested in partnering, and they already have the manufacturing down, I would assume, right? So I don't know.
Yeah, my big see, because originally when I invented this, I actually had another invention that I was working on, because I was a pipe layer at the time, and it was a tool for pipe laying. And as I was trying to teach myself how to use AutoCAD, I decided to go through a list of invention ideas that I had and found this one, and I was like, oh, you know what, I'll just design this one on AutoCAD and I'll just license it off to a bigger company. But the more that I spent working on it, the more that I got feedback from other people, it just kind of became like, I don't want somebody else to butcher this idea. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now. Like, you know, I've had a lot of offers for investors and stuff, and I'm trying to keep it. It's not so much because I don't want to give away too much of the company, but I just don't want to give away too much of the control, because I don't want somebody else to take this and spin it their way when I see how it should be and how the community at large will benefit from it.
Is this something you've thought about going on maybe Dragon's Den to look at something like that, just to even get exposure?
Yeah, I've had a lot of people say I should go on Dragon's Den. That's kind of a toss-up for me personally. I struggle with that. I don't even really want to be on Instagram kind of thing, let alone TV, but I kind of just have to get this out to people. But I've thought about it. I've been thinking about everything right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's so many different avenues. I'm not an expert in this at all. I'm more of like, just I'll throw something on the wall until it sticks kind of deal. So don't take anything I say too seriously.
No. I think everyone's got good input. I think everyone has something valid to say, right?
No, absolutely. And I mean, it's definitely a hard decision, especially when you have like this as a passion project for you. So it's even, you have more invested in it, right?
Yeah, 100%. I've been working on this since early June of last year. I haven't seen a single dollar out of it. I've just been dumping money into it. And yeah, I just really want people to use it more than anything. Yeah.
And like, how many hours a week do you work on it roughly?
If I'm not getting dragged by from other directions, I don't know, yesterday I was in it for about 14 hours.
Is this something you're doing full time then, or?
Pretty much full time right now, yeah.
So have you left your job to do this as well?
It's kind of a complicated thing. I actually got laid off and I got put on temporary leave for it, but then my company's just been like slowly closing down where I live, so it's just kind of been, as soon as I got laid off, I just was like, well, fuck it, I'm already working on this, I'm going to take the opportunity and just go full time on this. And so now I'm kind of at a point now where like I kind of have to go full time on it in order for it to, like, you know, these videos, I know they're short and everything, but yesterday, between filming and editing, I was at it for like 7 hours yesterday, just for the video that I'm going to post after this.
Yeah, editing's the biggest time consumer for sure, man. It really.
Oh my God, I had no idea.
Yeah, well, thank you, man. If I can do anything to help push this, let me know. I think it's a cool idea. I've been already sharing it around to a bunch of lacrosse community, and I'll keep doing it as well once this interview comes out. Is there anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
No, I just like, thanks, man. I appreciate you reaching out, and I think this is great. Like, you know, it's specifically for lacrosse community, but like, it's just for everyone, man. Like anyone with 2 arms wants to pick it up and have fun, you know, it's just a good time.
No, absolutely, man. I love it. So good luck, man. I'll definitely be talking to you, and we'll talk soon.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks, bro.
So again, I want to say thanks to Lucas for getting on here. You know, he's got a fantastic product. I think it's a really cool thing, different. He's not, like I said, he's not a lacrosse fan, but doesn't matter. He still built something for, in my opinion, the lacrosse community. I've asked around a few people about it. They like it. They think it's cool. They think it could help with ball handling. Some people don't, right? Everyone's got their opinions, but I think it's cool. I think it's cool to just have kicking around in the trunk, throw it, pick up. at the, like, practice, just throwing your stick around, all that kind of stuff. So, with all that being said, yeah, that's what we need, right? So that's what we need in this game. Anything that's going to help kind of get exposure to it is also, I'm all for. So I think because it is basically like looks like a lacrosse stick, it's obviously a little bit different, but it looks like a lacrosse stick. That's what I kind of gravitated towards. I think that's what most people will gravitate towards as well when they see it. And I think it's cool bouncing off. I can see it done at like maybe NLL halftime shows, him bouncing the ball around, throwing it all up. I just think that it's a cool little thing. It's kind of like, jugglers might try to kind of use it, like you said. There's a whole different lanes that you can go down, and I hope I can help him any way I want. So again, all of his stuff's gonna be up on the screen, and go check it out. Go give him some love. Go give him a follow. And let's get this thing going. And when it comes out, like I said, I will be buying one for sure. So you'll see me do some content with it because I think it's cool. I'm gonna be horrible at it. Of course, I'm gonna be horrible at it, but I will get there. So we'll be practicing with it and stuff like that. I think it's a cool thing, and I'll throw it in my trunk. And when I'm out at the lacrosse competitions, I'll pull it out. I'll throw the ball around a little bit and stuff like that, right? So kind of cool. So anyway, so thank you, Lucas, for being on. Really appreciate it, and great interview, buddy. And again, I met another great person in this lacrosse community. He's not really in the lacrosse community, but we'll see what happens with going in the future. And I wish him all the best. So with that being said, let's get right into the actual episode here, guys. I always do this. I always go on way too long. So we are going to go through each individual game like we always do. Okay. Love this stuff. So we'll go through this. We're going to do it all. So let's go through each individual game. So we'll start with Las Vegas and Colorado Mammoth. Colorado beating Vegas 13-8. Actually, yeah, okay, fuck it. So we had an attendance number of over 10,594. Attendance number of 10,594. Huge, awesome, amazing. I love to see it. Then we've got, and we had one of these games, guys. Like Las Vegas going almost 20 minutes without a goal is actually it's a big. You can't do that. It's at least under 20 minutes, but it's still like I find over the 15-minute mark is where teams really start to. It's hard to win when you go 15 minutes or more without a goal. That's a whole quarter essentially, right? So you had honestly a very tight game for the first half. Second half, Colorado really took over. Fourth quarter, Vegas always does better in the fourth quarter, but still not good enough. Final score was 13-8. And so Vegas had 3 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third, 2 in the fourth. And Colorado had four in the first, 1 in the second, 4 in the third, and 4 in the fourth. So pretty even game for Colorado. Massive night night for a couple players here. Okay, so Will Malcolm being one of them. Who got the game winner? Technically, game winner was actually done. I don't even really count it. Brandon Saris technically got the game winner for Colorado, end of the third, but that doesn't really count, to be honest with you, in my opinion. I mean, I get it does, but anyway, team effort for sure. So on Vegas' side of things, we had Donville with 4 points, 2 goals, 4 assists, same as Poltres with 2 goals, 2 assists for 4 points. Mitch Jones got 3 assists. Kevin Crowley got 2 goals. Kellen got a goal. Connor Kurse got a goal. Klutz got assists. We want to see more to him. Webster got an assist, as well as Stokes, which is a rookie. And you had Hammer Jackson going 12 for 25 for 48%. Really not that bad, especially on who you got on the other side. And then, so there you have it. On the other side of things, Will Malcolm having an absolutely huge night. 5 goals, 1 assist for 6 points, 12 shots on goals, 6 loose balls, all over, everywhere. You got Andrew Q with 2 goals, 4 assists. You got Dylan McIntosh, 3 goals, 1 assist. Jack Hanna with 3 assists. Jalen Chaster with 3 assists as well. Saris got a goal and an assist, and a big one. You got the game winner, right? Ari Stevens got a goal and assist as well. Dylan Ward got 2 assists, boys. Tim Edwards got a goal. He also got 7 loose balls and a caused turnover and 2 blocks. Huge for Robert Hope. Or huge for Tim Edwards. And it was a nice goal too, if you go look at it. Dylan Hess got an assist, as well as Jordan Gillies, Robert Hope, and Jeffrey and Simmons as well. And Robert Hope, 9 loose balls and 4 block shots, 2 caused turnovers. This is the thing. I'll go into this in a minute, actually. And then on the goaltending side of things, you had Alex Bouquet playing pretty much the whole game. Kels came in for just a little under 2 minutes. He had 3 shots and 2 saves, so he did let a goal in. Alex Bouquet, not a great night, to be honest with you, but realistically, last season, this would have been not horrible. Alex Bouquet, though, got 52 shots, 40 saves for a 76.9 save percentage. And Dylan Ward, he got 51 shots, 43 saves with an 84.3 save percentage. Huge. Ward is sneakily, like, nobody's really talking about Dylan Ward because Brett Dobbs has had such a big year. Dobbs goes out there and has such big games, right? We've seen a couple big games, 88 save percentage out of Dylan Ward. I got to put Dylan Ward, he's a top 3 goalie. And this is a scary thing. Colorado is easily, and I'm talking easily, like you could call them the favorite and you wouldn't be completely wrong. Colorado with the trio here might have the most complete team in the league. There's an argument to be made. Obviously, Vancouver's there as well, but I kind of give the edge on defense to Colorado when it comes to Vancouver. I also the offense is hard. I think it's a toss up. It depends on the game, and then the goaltending is the same. To be honest with you, I do have to give it a toss up. And maybe I like the Vancouver backup too. O'Toole there, really like him too. So I think we have an interesting playoff series. This might be the final. Like the final might be Colorado versus Vancouver. But with that being said, Vegas has been doing pretty decent, a lot better than last season, and Chase Frazier has basically been out, and they haven't got him back yet. And I'm hoping to see him this week. Their next couple games are very important. And if Chase Frazier could come back, I just can't see them not having more and more success, right? Oh no, they do play this week. Sorry, I can't see them having more success with Chase Frazier in this lineup. Like nobody's talking about that. They might be a nice little sleeper dark horse to throw a couple shekels on and try to win the championship because well, it's hard because they're goaltending, right? Who's their goalie going into this? It's got to be Bouquet at this point, right? Just run with Bouquet. Stop switching it around. I don't like it. Bouquet's a solid goalie when he's on, right? Now is he the best goalie in the league? No, but he's the best option they got, and the fact they didn't go get a goalie is sad. I'm really hoping in the offseason they go get a goalie, and to be honest with you, even Hartley there for a fresh start, I wouldn't even mind seeing that, to be honest with you. Now, again, I know a lot of people hate on Hartley. I'm a Rochester hater, you know that, guys, but to me, it's not going to happen. So he needs a fresh start, and I think Vegas, I think that they should go after Nick DeMood or go get one of these like backups that are sitting there waiting, that are chomping at the bits or something. Go get a goalie. You need a goalie though until Khan's ready to come up and actually start. And do not throw him in the deep end because you've done this with Kells and you've done this with Bouquet and it hasn't worked. So anyway, let's move on to the next game here. I'm going to quickly run through this one because this one doesn't really mean much. So we got Oshawa versus Calgary. Calgary put out over 10,000 fans, 10,536, so just under Colorado. That's 2 games so far. Both games have been over 10,000 fans. I love to see that. That's where I personally think the number needs to be. I know Brett Fruit has said 7,000. I would like to see 10,000 in a building every night, every game. I know some arenas can't handle that. We'll address that once they start fucking selling out, okay? So let's sell those buildings out first. But any building that can put 10,000 fans in, I love when they put 10,000 fans in. It's great for the league. It shows that there's massive growth here. It shows there's a massive potential here. And I fucking love to see this. And I think there's a couple cities that we're not in right now that could put 10,000 people in. That's my opinion on it. And my 3 cities that I think of right off the top of the head are Edmonton, Montreal, and Minnesota. Those 3 teams, those 3 cities, I think you could get 10K fans in. The numbers are there to prove it for at least Minnesota, but the other 2, Edmonton was 9,000 back then. They've got a new arena, all that kind of stuff. And then Montreal, the fan base is strong there. If you can get that fan base pulled in and become, I don't think if they go to Laval, don't become Laval, become Montreal. Become Montreal. I think anyway. Maybe I'm wrong. If you're from Laval, maybe you think differently, but I think Montreal, having a team in Montreal is peak, or a team in Quebec. Like Quebec City, I think is an untapped market that I think is also has an NHL ready stadium that's not being fully utilized. And I think that's another option as well, Quebec City. And I think that if you could sell lacrosse there, I'm not really sure. I know I've heard from Pierre Filion, shout out to him. Think Lacrosse, go check them out. I've heard that they kind of their numbers are decreasing. I'm gonna go look at all the numbers though after they're all released, and we're gonna be going over that. So because I want to see the sport grow. So anyway, so shout out to Calgary, considering they are quote unquote bad this year, and they've still got that. They've still got their fans showing up. When they do start being good in the next few years, they're going to be at 13, 14, 15,000 people, and maybe even match Buffalo. So I think right now they're the easiest franchise to get to that next level, Buffalo Bandits level type of atmosphere. To be honest with you, Calgary. To be honest with you, I like Calgary a lot. If I became a Calgary fan, I wouldn't hate it, to be honest with you. And it would give me an excuse to go out there, and I've got lots of friends out there. So we've got, Oshawa getting 0 in the first, 4 in the second, 3 in the third, and 3 in the fourth, showing heart, showing fight back, showing all that. That's what we needed to see earlier in the season out of this team. Calgary has 2 in the first, 0 in the second, 5 in the third, and 2 in the fourth. Both teams had 16-minute droughts for scoring. So again, you can't really do that and try to win. You had Alex Simmons getting 7 points, 3 goals, 4 assists. I think I heard that this was his personal record. I could be wrong on that. I kind of read that quickly, but 4 loose balls as well. Sad to see him not. He's going to end up being maybe even a top 5 player this year, and he's not going to be in the playoffs. It's crazy in this league, and it shows how important it is to have a full good team. On how if you have a top 5 player in like the NHL, you're always going to the playoffs. Right? But in the NLL, it doesn't seem like that. You got Ty Kurtz, 3 goals, 1 assist for 4 points. You got Ethan Walker, 2 goals, 2 assists for 4 points. You got Ryan Benny getting 3 assists. You got Dyson Williams, 2 goals. I always wonder if this season was going home too much pressure for him. I don't know. Dawson Theed with an assist. Again, Dawson Theed is very up and down. Sometimes he has massive nights. Sometimes he does this. Jackson Nishimura with an assist as well. Dawson Theed did have 16 penalty minutes in all fairness though. And Mike Bird getting 1 assist, going 3 for 14 in the faceoff. And then you had Zach Mason going 4 for 9 in the faceoff. So they obviously faceoffs don't matter, and they won in the shows, right? But faceoffs don't matter. I've gone over this a million times, and I actually the farther I've gone through this season, I stick to that all day. Faceoffs do not matter. It doesn't. It means way more on what you do with the ball after. If you win the faceoff, you turn it over right away. It means nothing, and that's actually something me and Frick do agree on. Then you got Tyler Pace, 2 goals, 6 assists for 8 points. Huge. I love this kid and the dedication he has to this team. You got Tanner Cook with 3 goals, 4 assists for 7 points, 12 shots on goal. You got Hayden Dixon with 2 goals, Brandon Mayo with the goal, as well as Bennett Smith. And then you got Riley Lowen, Harrison Masuka, Salama, Isaacs, Anasio, all with an assist. You also have Anasio going 16 for 23, 69.6% in the faceoff circle. This kid's good, man. And he's 27. So he's still pretty young. This team is young. This team is hungry, and this team, I'm excited to see what this team can do. Then you've got Dougie Jamieson getting 51 shots, 42 saves for an 82.4 save percentage. Aiden Walsh getting 50 shots, 40 saves for an 80 save percentage. So both goalies had a good night. Dougie Jamieson did a little bit more, and that's really what the difference was, the goaltending, right? And that's really what it comes down to, right? But Aiden Walsh is a good goalie. I think that he's, at least Calgary, what I say with Calgary has their guy. They have their next guy, right? Dougie is a little bit older. Oshawa is in this weird, they're weird, man. Oshawa, to be honest with you guys, I used to love Oshawa. To be honest with you, Oshawa is probably the top of my list to become a fan. They disappoint me so much the other season that I actually hate them. I hate that team. I hate Oshawa. I hate them. Like, honestly, it's a fine line between love and hate, and I found it, and I'm on the hate side now. So we'll see. Maybe they'll pull me back in. I don't think so, though. I'm pretty much, they've kind of put a really bad taste in my mouth. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because I was really cheering for them last season. They just missed out, and then this season to do what they did. I'm about heart, man. If you have heart, I'll cheer for you. When you go get blown out, I can't do it. And that's what happened with Oshawa this season. Anyway, Vancouver versus Buffalo. And of course, this one was going to sell out, right? So 17,350. Everybody should be striving to be Buffalo. Buffalo beating Vancouver 15-5, blowing the doors off. Really showed them home field advantage counts, right? So Vancouver had 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third, and 0 in the fourth. 1 goal in the second half is not enough. And then you had Buffalo getting 3 in the first, 5 in the second, 2 in the third, and 5 in the fourth. Huge, massive. Vancouver, the 26-minute scoring drought. Again, you're never going to win like that. That's almost half the game. On the Vancouver side, Charlin Beatty is getting 2 goals, 2 assists for 4 points. You had Claridge getting 2 goals, 2 assists for 4 points as well. Keegan Ball held off to a goal and assist for 2 points. Curtis Dixon getting 2 assists. You had Sheridan getting an assist, and that was it. So no points from Jesse King, no points from Charbonneau, no points from Beers. Beers had a big fight, though, I'll tell you that. The list goes on and on. No from Bowring. I don't know, guys. Max Adler went 15 for 25 in the faceoffs. Faceoffs don't matter, boys. Faceoffs do not matter, boys. I'm telling you, if this doesn't tell you, this is every game this week. The team that won the faceoffs actually lost the game. I think maybe one had it, but most of these games, it's wild to me. It's wild to me because I think as a newer fan, before I started going over week by week every game like this, I would have die hard and fucking fought tooth and nail that faceoffs mattered. They don't matter. They don't matter. Now, can it be an X factor a little bit? Possibly in a playoff scenario if you're really good at keeping the ball once you get it. But for the regular season right now, I have to stick with faceoffs do not matter. And then you got on the other side, you had Josh Byrne, 4 goals, 6 assists for 10 points. 14 shots on net and 5 loose balls. Josh Byrne, that we were kind of missing the first half of the season. He's fucking found his game again. No one should count this team out. I counted them out. I learned my mistake. And you know what? If they win the 4-peat, I'm happy. And not only that, I don't want to say it. So we're going to talk about the 4-peat. I think it'll be cool to see them win the 4-peat. Maybe even more. We're not going to talk about that yet. I don't want to jinx it. But I love greatness. I love watching dynasties. Like, I liked watching the Patriots if they're on their run. I like watching all these dynasties. Unless you're in hockey, and once I pick a team for the NLL, I'll feel the same way. But as a neutral fan, I just love watching good lacrosse, the best lacrosse. And you cannot tell me that watching the Bandits is not the best lacrosse experience. But if you're going to a home game, best lacrosse team to watch right now, honestly, especially because they've gone from having backs against the wall to being, in my opinion, number 1 team in this league. If they are not number 1 on your power rankings, you are wrong. You are wrong, wrong, wrong. Okay, so anyway, we got Dave Smith getting 2 goals, 7 assists for 9 points. Huge game for him. You got Ian McKay getting 2 goals, 4 assists. Joey Rez getting 3 goals, 1 assist. Finally starting to get going with Joey too. He's starting to find how he can fit to that system. You got Nanakoke with 3 assists, Buchanan with 2 goals, Robinson with a goal and an assist, Priolo with 2 assists, Scanlan with a goal, Whitty with an assist. And then you've got Dylan Robinson going 45% in the draw, 10 for 22. Buchanan took 2, didn't win either one. And then also Coffey took 1 and didn't win that one. And then you've got Christian Del Bianco having a really, really off night for him. It doesn't usually happen. Everybody's entitled to it. This is his 2nd game this year, though. And so when people say, oh, he's the best goalie in the league, is he? And I mean that respectfully. Don't get me wrong. Like, when you're talking, oh, he's not the best goalie in the league, that means he's the best box goalie in the world, okay? So, like, let's hold your horses when you run down my throat on this one. I know he's had 2 bad games this season now. And everyone's entitled to that, to be honest with you. But if you're talking best goalie in the world right now, field or box, I'm taking Brett Dobson all day. There's no debate about that this season. And the unfortunate part is Brett Dobson had his only bad game this year is against Vancouver and Christian Del Bianco. And the Delbs played lights out. But this one wasn't as good. 45 shots, 32 saves for 71.1 save percentage. And then you had Connor O'Toole with an 11 shots, 9 saves with an 81.8 save percentage. So Connor O'Toole's a fantastic goalie too. I've had the pleasure of having a little bit of conversation with this guy, and he is a great kid. He's another one that is just sitting kind of, I don't want to say rotting away because it's definitely not true. You're getting to learn one of the best goalies in the world. But with that being said, I think Connor O'Toole can go be a starter. I think there's a chance. I think there's an opportunity for him. Like, how old is he? 22. So, I mean, you could argue that you could wait, and it's great mentorship to what he's going through right now. Don't get me wrong, but I do think that you could probably get him in there. So, you have Matt Fitz playing most of the game. 27 shots, 22 saves for an 81.5 save percentage. And you had Evan going in, Konstantopoulos. I don't know if that's right. I apologize. I always fucking don't know how to say this name. 4 shots, 4 saves for 100%. They let him in for a little bit there. Gave Vincey a break. So there you have it. There's that game. Again, we're doing good so far. I think we've had all games have had over 10,000 fans this week so far. Okay. So next we got San Diego versus Toronto. They didn't hit 10,000 fans, but they did hit 7,897, which is good. That's over what the league wants to see. I would like to see more in Toronto, in Hamilton, right? Again, this is a whole debate, and I'm going to do a deep dive into that. Like, great debate, honestly, overall, on what they should be called Toronto. But anyway, either or, they are playing. They 7,800 is not bad. I would like to see it get up, and hopefully with time and them being there for longer and not having to jump around so much, they'll build that diehard true fan base. They're on the short list to be my team as well. I love the Toronto Rock. They're the only team that follows me. So you got to give them credit for that. Then you've got, you had both teams getting over 20-minute droughts for scoring in a game like this. I know it's hard to win. Obviously, it's almost impossible to win. Toronto did have the lead for 56 minutes as well, but you do want to see more scoring out of them. But at the end of the day, they won the game. It doesn't matter. And it is nice to see that they can play so defensive, because come playoffs, they're going to have to play their top level defense if they want to win this game, right? So you got San Diego getting 0 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third, and 2 in the fourth. You got Toronto getting 3 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third, and 1 in the fourth. So really like a low scoring second half for sure. 5 goals total. But that first coming out, this is the thing. You need to come out and be ready to play, and that's what Toronto did. And that's basically it was the first quarter that won them that game. That's really what won them the game, is the first quarter. So you got, on the San Diego side, you got Wesley Berg, 2 goals, 1 assist for 3 points. You got Zach Currier with 3 assists. You got Connor Robinson with a goal and assist. You got Ben McIntosh with a goal and assist. Watson has 2 assists. Deacon has a goal, and then that's it. You have nothing defensively that stands out. The one thing is, Trevor Baptiste, again, killing it, 12 for 16 in the faceoff. 75%. Huge. But again, they lost. So face off, so many shit. I love to say that because it gets people riled up. Gets people so riled up. I don't understand it. The numbers don't lie, boys. And this is week after week after week after week. So now maybe this is a different than historical years, but I'm going off this year, and I'm face off don't mean shit. Bye. So anyway, so we got Owen Hiltz you got Owen Hiltz getting 4 points, 2 goals, 2 assists with 3 loose balls and a caused turnover. CJ Kurtz, 2 goals, 1 assist for 3 points. Josh Dawick getting a goal and an assist for 2 points. Jalen Rogers getting a goal and 2 assists for 2 points. Chris Boucher getting a goal. Mark Matthews getting an assist. Sam English getting an assist. Brad Cree getting an assist. Eli Gash getting an assist. Huge. You had Rowlett getting dominated in the faceoff at 4 and 16, but that's nothing to be ashamed of with the way Baptiste is in the dot. He's the best guy in the best faceoff guy in the league. Withers, you could maybe throw me a debate there. But for the most part, I have to say Baptiste for sure. So Latrell Harris, 7 loose balls, 2 caused turnovers, and a block. Big game for him. Sam English, 12 loose balls, 3 caused turnovers, and a block. Huge as well. For that one. So there you have it. And then the final game of the week, Halifax versus Rochester. This was a season ender for either team. Now, Rochester still does technically have a chance, but I can't see it at this point. Not the way their goaltending's been. Their attendance numbers was 9,875, so just under that 10,000 mark. But we've done so well with attendance this week. So well. Out of four of the 5 games were over 9,800. Like 3 of the games went over 10,000. 1 was at 9,800, so almost 10,000. And then you had, the Toronto game at 7,800. Like, honestly, that's good attendance numbers. If we could have that every week, this would be a great league, right? This would be amazing. And we're going to do some math on this shit too. Don't worry. After the season, we're going to do a deep dive into how much it costs to fucking run this shit. Because I have a hard time believing that these owners don't make money. I don't believe it. I just don't. Not all of them. I understand some of them don't. There's a few, but I don't believe that as many as people are saying. Like, I heard this week in Discord, somebody told me that one team makes money. Bullshit. I'm going to call bullshit on that. I'm sorry. I'm going to call bullshit on that. And this is the thing. You are saying the exact same thing I am. Trust me, bro, because you won't show, and it's not you, this person specifically, but they won't show all the numbers, so they're not being fully transparent. So me saying that they are making money and somebody else saying that they aren't, there's no way to actually confirm that unless the only ones that truly know are the owners. That's it, right? So here we go. So we had, big game, Halifax beating Nighthawks 15-10. Huge, massive, great game. Goaltending an issue for Rochester again. Goaltending not an issue for Mr. Warren Hill. You've got Rochester getting 3 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third, and 3 in the fourth. And you've got Halifax hitting 4 in the first, 7 in the second, 1 in the third, and 3 in the fourth. So Halifax went up, they held, and they got it done. That's really, they probably could have kept the gas going if they really wanted to, but all they cared about was the win. Shout out Levi Tui. He's killing it out there. I'm going to go into him in a minute, but he is absolutely killing it out there, buddy. As a rookie coming in there, coming off cold, all that kind of stuff. The guy's a stud. Love that guy with all my heart. And he's been on the podcast. He's my first official. Now I can say this. I've had an NLL player on my podcast, which is really cool. It's Levi Tui. Amazing guy. Go watch his interview. The guy is an amazing stud. So Rochester, 17 minutes with a goal drought, where Halifax only had 13. So again, where I find that it's like that 15-minute mark that teams need. If they go over that, it's harder to win. And then 20, it's almost impossible, unless the other team does it too, like Toronto, San Diego situation. So here we go. So Rochester, Connor Fields had a goal and 5 assists for 6 points. Ryan Launchberry had 2 goals, 3 assists for 5 points. Connor Fields also had 5 loose balls. Shout out to him for that. Ryan Smith, 2 goals, 2 assists for 4 points. Same as McConvey. Riordan had a goal and 2 assists for 3 points. Jansen had a goal and an assist. Matt Guillory had a goal. Jansen also had 11 loose balls, which is huge. Then you had Hogg with an assist, as well as Medeiros. Tutton had 8 loose balls, 3 caused turnovers. Big defensive night for him, all over everything. Had Cap going 11 for 29 in the faceoff circle, but that's not surprising considering who we got on the other side here. And then you had Halifax, Clark Peterson. You had 3 goals, 3 assists for 6 points. You had Jake Withers with 2 goals, 4 assists for 6 points as well. 12 loose balls, but he is 18 for 28 in the faceoff. You had Jason Knox for 3 goals. You had Brandon Bobberry for a goal and 2 assists for 3 points. You had Mike Robinson for a goal and 2 assists for 3 points. You had Will McLeod with 3 assists, having a big rookie year, honestly. He's got to get overshadowed by a lot of other guys, but he has been pretty consistent for Halifax. Stephen Coe got a goal and assist. Ryan Terfenko got a goal and assist, and the Terfenko goal was absolutely beautiful. Amazing. You got Cody Jamieson with a goal, kind of taking a step back. Hosak got a goal and assist as well. I'm sorry. He got 10 loose balls as well and 1 block. And then you got Trevor Smith with the goal as well. Bloomberg, Armstrong, and Warren Hill all got assists as well, 2 boys. So on the goalie side of things, you've got a lot of people contributing on Halifax, by the way. I just want to shout that out. Then you've got in the goalie, you got Ryan Hutchcraft, 32 shots, 22 saves, save percentage. And Hartley goes in, 23 saves, 23 shots, 19 saves for 82.6. This goaltending just can't get their shit together. Ryan Hartley can't have a full game good. Hutchcraft can't have a full game good. It seems like when they come in off the bench, they have they do better. But at the end of the day, maybe what your strategy should be if you're Rochester, throw a goalie out there. If they let 3 or 4 in, get them out of there. Just pull them right away. Fuck it. Boom. You're on the bench. I don't know. Warren Hill, 52 shots, 42 saves for an 80.8 save percentage. It's huge. Huge. So there you have it, guys. There's the week for you. The last game of the week. So biggest things for me here were the attendance numbers this week. I loved seeing all the support. It shows the game's growing. A lot of people are skeptical over that. I'm big on that. And I'm going to go over, we're doing a deep dive, all that stuff. I've got lots of content ideas coming for the off season. And I'm going to be covering the MSL. They just signed a streaming partnership, so I should be able to watch most of the games. I'll pay for it if I have to. I don't care. I think it's worth it. I definitely will be going to some games too. Chiefs game, 1000%. Can't wait to go to. And let's talk about the Chiefs for a minute here, okay? Everyone hates on the Chiefs because they buy their team. And I kind of agree. I think that this should be a feeder league. I've said this multiple times, WLA, MSL. If you're in the NLL, you shouldn't be playing in those leagues, right? Now, at the end of the day, the NLL doesn't pay them enough in order to just play in that league. So you can't really hate on them and give them the opportunity. But realistically, they should be going to play in the PLL. And that's the thing. NLL, PLL if they work together and just shared rosters, like not shared rosters, but like, you could do that. You could have a team that had these players play for this team in the NLL and they play for this team in the PLL. There's no... That would never work because who's the bigger league? Who do you follow, right? So, but people complain about the Chiefs. You should just get on and enjoy the ride because that team is it's like watching an all-star team every game. And I get it. I get if you're in that league or if you're a fan of any other team in that league, I get why that would piss you off. And I think we need to change the structure of it. But I'm a diehard Chiefs fan already, okay? I was glazing them hard last season, but they are the best team out there, right? And I was watching the Man Cup. I fucking love that. That was my first real experience with a summer ball. And so this season I'm going to go, I'm kind of debating if I should just go pull my RV and just go stay in Ontario for the summer, to be honest with you. Get a job there and just do it. I'm debating. I don't know. We'll see. I can't see. I don't know if I can do it. I could do it. I have flexibility. But if you guys know anything about the East Coast summers is the whole reason you live here is for the summer. At least that's why I live here. And I hate leaving the East Coast in the summer. It drives me crazy because I wait all winter for this. East Coast comes, summer comes, and then we're at this. So, and I would like to also check out some ECJLL games, the East Coast Junior A League here. I'm excited to go see some games for that too. So we'll be going to do that. I'm going to be going to tryouts are going to be starting for Lacrosse New Brunswick next week. My son will be going to that. And we'll see what happens there. I don't know. We'll see. He's a pretty good defensive player. I wouldn't be surprised if he makes team, to be honest with you, as a U13. I'm going to see. This is going to be a big test for him. I don't want to push him in lacrosse, so I want him to be really naturally good at it. And I'm not trying to live through him or anything like that, but he's got natural ability at it. And I really hope that he chooses to pursue it because it's really he's played football, he's played soccer, he's played basketball, he's played like I've got him in a lot martial arts, everything. I've tried him in a lot of different things, and I find lacrosse to him is like his best sport, and it's what he really is just naturally great at. So I'm hoping that he really kind of starts to really gravitate towards it. He definitely does. He picks up the stick, all that kind of stuff, and he loves it. I know you need to have your stick in your hand if you want to be a high caliber player every day, and I don't think he's quite there yet. And I've never pushed him to be that because you can't make somebody be a player. They have to be the ones that's choosing. And I'm not sure. I'm not trying to live through him vicariously. Like I don't care if he. I just want him to. I want to find his thing, whatever that is, and then help him move towards that. Right. So with that being said, let's go through my players of the week. Offensive player of the game this week. I don't think there's a debate here, especially the way he's just had this breakout game. Josh Byrne, 4 goals, 6 assists for 10 points, 5 loose balls, 1 caused turnover. Just everywhere, big reason, laser focused, and to head into the playoffs, this guy is ready to go. He's played a lot of lacrosse. Him and Dane, all these boys, even Ian McKay, they've all played so much lacrosse. You know, it's one of those things. When does it catch up with you? Well, for these guys, it seemed like it was catching up to them, but now it's just like, it seems like they're like, fucking hold my beer, boys. I think they needed the little bit of adversity. I don't know what it was, but whatever. And Joey Rez had a good game this week, but we're going to go Josh Byrne for offensive player of the week. Defensive player of the week, there's no doubt you have to pick somebody from Toronto because of like prowess or the defensive game they showed this week. But I'm going to go with Sam English. He got an assist, which isn't really going into my thing, but what really factors in here is he got 12 loose balls and 3 caused turnovers and a block. So he is massive. He's a massive reason why this team is where they are. And the scariest part about this, and the reason why I'm really like kind of drawn towards Toronto, not the only reason, but his brother's coming up, and there's an argument to be made that his brother is better. So what's it going to look like when they're both on that defensive end? One can be on the field and the other one can, like, they just rotate, right? So it's going to be interesting to see. Latrell also had a big game. I do want to shout out Latrell Harris as well. He had a big game as well. He was a lot, like, huge reason out there. But Sam English is going to be my defensive player of the week, and he's also going to be my rookie of the week. I know I've never done that before, but I just think that how do you not give him rookie of the week when he did this, right? And then my goaltender of the week is also, I know I'm just loading up in Toronto right now, but my goaltender of the week, hands down, and it could have been Dylan Ward. He had a fantastic game too. But Nick Rose with 43 shots, 38 saves, and an 88.4 save percentage. I don't think there's no arguments here. Nick Rose is the difference maker. I went into that too a little bit in a video this week. A lot of Toronto fans were saying Troy's their guy. Nothing against Troy. I'm not a big, like, I don't think he's the next guy. There are people who say he is, and I could see him being the Toronto's next guy. Don't get me wrong. But with that being said, Nick Rose, I'm not an NLL coach, guys, so I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, they know better than me. So there you have it. There's the players of the week. So let's go through the standings right now. So this is interesting, guys. So let's run through this quick. So standings are currently Colorado's tied for first. There's a 3-way tie, but even almost a 4-way tie for first place right now. So Colorado, Saskatchewan, Vancouver are 11-5. Georgia is 10-5, so they got an extra game in hand here. They could still take that first place. These are the 4 teams I would have to say are going to get a home game. Right? Buffalo, though, could still sneak in there too, but I just have a funny feeling this is probably the 4 they're going to get the home games. But you really want to get out of there because you do not want to play Buffalo the first round. So if Buffalo gets a home game, or if they don't get a home game, they're probably going to be 3 or 4 or 5, right? That's going to be probably where Buffalo ends up sitting and living. So right now we've got 6 clinched spots, okay? So right now you have Colorado, Vancouver, Saskatchewan, Georgia, Buffalo, and Toronto all clinched their spots. And you have Ottawa, Las Vegas, Halifax, Rochester, and San Diego all still fighting for a playoff spot technically. Then you got Oshawa, Calgary, and Philly are all eliminated. Everybody wants Philly to finish last, so just keep losing Philly. You do not want to win another game because Calgary's right there. Oshawa has got one more. I think Calgary hopefully will win. Philly should lose this week. That'll keep them in the bottom. We want to see Philly get the first overall pick. We also want to see Philly go somewhere that they're gonna. It's a good way when they relocate to wherever they're gonna do. It's a really good way to kind of build hype and stuff. So do whatever you got to do, but finish last. But anyway, so basically we've got 2 playoff spots left, and you have 5 teams fighting for it. Now let's be real. San Diego is 6-9, right? So we've got those 3 teams that are essentially looking at trying to fight for a playoff spot. So basically Seals are gone. Rochester to me is pretty much dead in the water, I think. I could be wrong. I mean, there is a slight chance Rochester makes it, but I just don't think it's there. So I'm really looking at, when I look at these last 2 spots, I'm more looking at Ottawa, Las Vegas, and Halifax. Who's going to take those 2 spots? Now, like I've said from the beginning of the season, if one of my predictions come true, it's Ottawa make the playoffs. Jeff T not being in the playoffs is sad, right? So we need him. We need to have Jeff T in the playoffs. So I'm going to stick with that. I think they have a better position than the other 2, and I think that Ottawa gets in the playoffs. Now, which brings it down to Las Vegas and Halifax. Now, I love Halifax, right? This team is disappointing me this year. I thought they were going to be at first place. I said that. You can go back and look. I was really high on this team. I think they lost some games they definitely should have won. They've had 5 one-goal game losses. Like, if they could have just got 2 of those, just 2 of those one-goal game losses, they'd be sitting in a playoff spot right now. So for them to miss the playoffs is going to be disappointing. Warren Hill, this season he's had, is going to be disappointing. So I am rooting for them, and I'm hoping they make the playoffs. I really am hoping they make the playoffs. But I'm going to have to take Vegas. I think the top 8 are Vegas. Vegas and Ottawa make it the playoffs, and Halifax just going to miss. And they're going to have to sit down and see what they want to do going forward, right? Is it a coaching change? Is it a rebuild? Is it a retool? Do you try to go get a couple big free agents? I don't know. Lyle, who knows? But we'll see what happens. That's my honest opinion on it. And we've got leaders. I'll go over the leaders with you guys real quick. So Keegan Ball is still leading the league, even though he had a down game. He's 109 points. Jeff Teet's 106. Dane Smith is 105. Connor Fields is 104. Josh Burns is 101. Alex Simmons is 96. Ryan Launchberry is 93. Robert Hellier is 91. Tyler Pace is 90. And Mitch Jones is 89 to round out the top 10. Crazy, man. We got 500-point players already. I think I said about 12 or 13. So we got 2 weeks left though. Some teams have 3 games still. So there's a chance. We'll see what happens. But I think I might be a little bit short on that. Then you got Andrew. So for goals, you got Andrew Q with 45, Tanner Cook with 43, Jeff Teet with 40, Connor Fields with 39, Curtis Dixon with 38, Alex Simmons with 38, Keegan Ball with 37, Clark Peterson with 37, Ryan Smith with 36, and and Ty Kurtz with 35. As well as Dane Smith, that's 35 as well. So here's your top 10 for that as well. Now, I will say there's no 50-goal guys this year, and I'm pretty sure Berg scored 50 last season, if I'm not mistaken. And then on the goalie side of things, you still have Brett Dobson, 84.4. Christian Del Bianco, even after a little bit of a rough game, you had an 81.3 save percentage. Dylan Ward's at an 81.2. Nick Rosen an 81.1. I'm just going through the starters quick here. Warren Hill is still over an 80 with an 80.5. Nick Damoud with an 80.3. Frankie with a 79.7, so right there. Dougie Jameson with 79.1. Regulari 78.8. If you know how he started the season, this is pretty amazing how he's got to there. Matt Vince with 78.5. Aiden Walsh with a 78.1. Zach Higgins with a 77.7. Drew Hutch got a 77.4. So there you have it. There's the guys that matter pretty much. So there's the goalies. I didn't go over my power rankings, so I might as well do my power rankings right now too. So my power rankings are going to be Buffalo. Buffalo, their backs are against the wall, and now in my opinion, they beat Vancouver. They beat all these top teams. Saskatchewan, like they are the top team on your power rankings. If they're not, you're wrong. Like I said, Colorado easily number 2. They're just such a complete team. I think they are the most complete team, maybe. You got Georgia, number 3, Brett Dobson. He's just having such a fantastic season. Vancouver, and they got some really big offensive pieces that when they get going, they're impossible to stop. Nolan Byrne, Lyle Thompson has been showing he's had a couple really big games. Then you got Saskatchewan in 5th, which is crazy to me. I would never thought that. I would have thought they were kind of coasting all the way to the finals pretty much, but they've had quite the skid. They need to win this game against Colorado this week. This is much important. Toronto is number 6. Toronto should be higher the way they've been playing, but look at the other teams in front of them. They're just so good. Toronto was my dark horse, and they're still on my list of teams, right? Ottawa as well. Ottawa's I think is still gonna make playoffs, and they're still good. Jeff T, the goaltending's gotta be a little bit better, but they need to get a win. Then you got Las Vegas at number 8. Las Vegas, if their goaltending was better, their team would be way better. Chase Frazier not being in there, if he was in there, this team would also be way better. So that's kind of why I have Vegas over Halifax as well. I think Vegas gets it done, and I think Vegas, if Chase Frazier can come back, I think that's a big addition to add right before the playoffs. So there's my power rankings 1 through 8. So I'm picking a team for the playoffs here, okay? As you might know or might not know, depends on how you follow me. But I'm picking a team, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a team, and for the playoffs, and if they run and they win the championship, then that will be my team permanently, okay? I think this is a fun way to figure out what my team is, and I really don't even know if I want to be on a fan base fully, because I don't know if you guys can handle it. So here are the teams that I've now eliminated off. We're down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're down to 5 teams to root for, okay? So I've knocked off San Diego and Rochester, but also Saskatchewan, Vancouver, Ottawa, Oshawa, Philly, and Calgary are obviously all knocked off because they're not making the playoffs. So which leaves us with Halifax, Georgia, Buffalo, Las Vegas, and Toronto. Now, Halifax after this week, if they don't win this big game, and it is a big game, they're going to be knocked off automatically. So they're going to kick themselves out, right? Georgia, in Brett Dobson, we trust. Like, I love that guy. And I converse with Brett Dobson, right? So I message him and he'll respond to me. And so, I mean, they are on the short list. And like I said, they're the first team to ever comment on my TikTok. So I always have a little soft spot in my heart for Georgia. And I always thought they needed a diehard fan, but they have Kai the goalie. They have Mike from Daily Dive. So they got some guys that are putting Georgia out there. So I don't know if they really need a fan like I thought they did originally. So, but anyway, they are in the running, and I'm really tempted to jump on that fan base right now because for the playoffs because I think that would be if they could go out and pull it off, it would be such a historic run that it's like, how do you not do that, right? And then you got Buffalo. Is it still in contention? Everyone hates on this, but I love Buffalo going for a four-peat. I think that's amazing, and I just don't know if I can hop on that bandwagon, and I don't know if that's fair to the fan base. So if you're a Buffalo fan, leave me a comment or something, and I got to know if this is true, if it's okay for me to jump on your fan base. Honestly, at this point in the thing, I really don't. I don't know. Maybe they actually win. So they remind me almost like vintage Leafs, where they used to just buy their team and spend everybody, which is kind of what they do. And then you got Toronto. Toronto is in my hometown. They're the only ones that follow me on socials, on TikTok, nowhere else though, but on TikTok. And I've conversed with them as well, their social media team. Toronto is I've already got the jersey. Like my son's got it. I'll just borrow it, obviously, or I'll buy my own. But they've got the jersey there, and I don't know, man. It really does. It's intriguing. I'll give you that. It's intriguing. It's intriguing to be a Toronto fan. And then we got Vegas. In Vegas, Mr. Tyson Bell. I love, they're a young team. They're an upcoming team. I like their players. They're gritty. If they had goaltending, I'd probably be more likely to pick them as my team. But Vegas, it would be a dark horse for sure. It would be a fun ride if they could get going, and if they could if they could somehow pull a miracle off, I think it'd be cool. Okay, so with all that being said, there you have it. There's my playoff teams. You guys leave me in the comments who you want me to choose. I mean, there's a couple teams in here that I really think I could become like. There's a couple teams on here that I think I could, if they ended up going all the way, I would be so super happy to be a fan of theirs, right? And the thing is, as much as like everyone thinks, oh, you're a Halifax fan, you're right by Halifax. Yeah, but they have a great fan base already. And to go down there in enemy territory, I think it'd be cool to do. And they didn't reach out to me. They didn't. I messaged them multiple times. They haven't reached back out to me. So Halifax is hard to get a hold of, man. Their social media team. I emailed them. I reached out to Mackie. I didn't bug Mackie though. In all fairness, I reached out to her a couple times, and she did respond to me once, but she's busy. She's got a lot going on. She's had a massive year. Not blaming her by any means. I don't know, man. It is what it is. Maybe as I get bigger, I'm a pretty small creator too. Maybe as I get bigger, it might get better. But as of right now, it's not looking that way. So we'll see. It's not that I have to be a fan of Halifax, though. To be honest with you, and I'd still even buy season tickets and not be quote unquote a fan of theirs fully. Like I could still be a fan of theirs. I can have multiple teams. I'm gonna whatever team I pick. And this is the other thing, the kicker to this is that it's gonna be whatever team I pick. If they lose, then I can't pick them until they come around again, until I go through all the other teams. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. So I gotta be careful because it's like if I pick Toronto this year, they lose, but then they have this stacked team going for the next year, year after, the year after that. Like it's like, do I almost want to wait to use Toronto, right? So we'll see. So we're gonna go through this week's games here quick. So we got Toronto versus Ottawa. This is a big game for both teams. Toronto's really trying to push themselves up that leaderboard. And you don't really want to, it's all about matchups at this point now, right? So who do you want to play in that first round is what you got to kind of start looking at. But the way it is, it's hard to plan it. So because it's so razor thin tight, one win could change how the whole playoffs look. I am going to take Ottawa on this one. I think Ottawa needs this win. They're at home. I'm pretty sure Toronto's already beat them this season, and they need this win. So I think I'm going to take Ottawa on this one. Then you got Halifax versus Vancouver. Vancouver is coming off a massive loss. They are beatable. It doesn't look great when they do that. I'm telling you right now, to go in and beat Vancouver at home after a loss is almost impossible. But I need the points for who you got. I need Halifax to win, and I love an underdog. So I have to go for Halifax. If they lose this game, their season's over. If they win this game, the hype's going to be over the fucking moon. So I have to pick Halifax. We're going to go ride with them. Not going to be surprised if Vancouver wins this one. They should win this one, but I'm going to ride with Halifax. I'm going to ride with them. They at least show heart. As much as I get pissed off at them, they at least show heart, and they show up every game, and they're a physical team, and like their fans are great. The arena is great to watch the game in. The atmosphere is great. Like, it's East Coast as East Coast can get. That's the best way I can explain it to you guys. Then you got the Rochester versus Buffalo, and I'm going to take Buffalo on this one. Buffalo at home. Rochester, the goaltending is just and the way Buffalo has found their stride, they're trying to play for a home game, and I think that it just makes sense. They could still finish first, technically, if everything goes perfectly for them. Then you've got Calgary versus Oshawa. I'm going to take Calgary again this week. I think Calgary's going to get the redemption. They're going to go to Oshawa and win. But for Oshawa fans, would like to see Oshawa take this win, so I'm not going to be mad either way in this one, but I am going to take Calgary in this one. But something's telling me Oshawa is going to take this. But a lot of times when they have back-to-back games, most teams usually split it. So that's the logic I'm using. Then you got Las Vegas versus Philly. I'm going to take Las Vegas on this one. This one is almost like, this is like written. If Las Vegas doesn't win this one, that's crazy. But Philly needs to lose. Las Vegas needs to win. Like, it's just A plus B, 1 plus 1 equals 2. That's the simplest one. I think this is the easiest game to call this week. Las Vegas wins this game. Colorado versus Saskatchewan. This is a toss-up, but Saskatchewan at home has been absolutely lights out. They've lost one home game. It's against Buffalo, and I think Colorado, as much as they're absolutely dynamite, this is a test for them. Colorado could come in and whoop their ass, don't get me wrong, but Saskatchewan, I think, is going to finally get back on the winning side of things, and they take this game. And then finally, I have San Diego versus Georgia. I'm going to take Georgia in Brett Dobson. We trust. San Diego is going to be officially eliminated after this game, and I can't wait to watch Georgia play. I love Georgia. They are definitely in the top running for me to jump on that bandwagon and the Brett Dobson bandwagon and all that kind of stuff. There we go, guys. There you have it. With all that being said, my name is Jake McDonald. I'm Anything Across, and this is Game Never Sit Still. Love you guys. We will talk to you next time.